Okay, creatine kinase reaction. Usually we call is ATP-PC system. Yeah, ATP-PC system, but we call creatine kinase reaction. So hopefully, did you remember I posted Hess's law? Hess's law in last week's our Canvas website. I put the Hess's law. So I said, please watch this video. It helps you understand creatine kinase reaction. That doesn't make sense. So if you didn't watch yet, could you go back to the last week our Canvas website? So please watch Hess's law. That is a YouTube video. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, did you watch? Okay. So how about ATP hydrolysis? I would like to write again here. So it's okay. Yeah. So ATP, to break down ATP, which molecule we need? Water is right. We need water, right? And this is a substrate part, left side substrate, the right side is the product, right? So ATP with water, right, is become ADP, inorganic phosphate, and proton. Did you remember? Did you remember? And which enzyme, right? ATPases, right? So this is kind of a chemical reaction, is right? But what is the problem is another, like others, textbook authors, they didn't put the water. Did you remember, right? So if you have a chance, go to the our library to read another textbook of exercise physiology. Is most of the textbook they didn't put the water. That is a big mistake. It's a big mistake. So like this, and another one. How about this reaction? It release energy, is right. So this reaction release energy. Energy from where? So between phosphate group is right. Yeah. So it release energy. It's release energy. Mm-hmm. How about class? Does it make sense? But for today, to convenience, I would like to write is energy here instead of here. This is much better. But how about I put energy is here? Yeah. Class makes sense. Makes sense. But how about like this? If you break down ATP in your body, break down ATP, it releases around 14 kilocalorie per mole. Okay, so it releases, I want to use number, 14 kilocalorie per mole. Does it make sense? But how about in chemistry? In chemistry, release means negative. It makes sense. Yeah. So if I put negative mean it's release energy. So to break down water, to break down ATP using water, become ADP, inorganic phosphate proton. It release 14 kilocalorie per mole. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Mm-hmm. So there are another terminology, but I do not want to really confuse you. I want to really simplify. So just I want to say like this. Right? Exactly, the name is like Gibbs energy, delta, that one, but do not worry about. It's like this. I think it's simple enough, is right? And another one, this kind of reaction is go to this way. It release energy. We call. Did you hear about exogonic reaction? Yeah, this is exogonic reaction. It release energy. Makes sense. Makes sense. But how about after use energy? After breakdown ATP, right? We have another lecture. Our human body really want constant ATP concentration. So after use, my body really want to resynthesize ATP, right? At the same time, doesn't make sense. So how about I want to rewrite? So how about reversely? ADP and plus inorganic phosphate and proton. So right now, this is product, but this is right now is a substrate part. To become ATP and water, theoretically makes sense, is right? I just rewrite. This case, it need, makes sense. It need 14 kilocalorie. 14 kilocalorie per mole, we need positive. We need This one release. Positive, we need. Makes sense, right? To go this way, we need 14 kilocalories per mole. Doesn't make sense. And how about class? Do you know the name is like a go to this way? We call endogonic reaction. It doesn't make sense. Endogonic reaction. So this is exogonic reaction. It's release. This is endogonic reaction. It need energy. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. However, in real world, never occur. Never occur, right? We need some energy, right? We need some energy. So it should be coupled with another reaction. And finally, it can go this direction. Doesn't make sense? Doesn't make sense. Yeah. So actually, even this one, it should be exogonic reaction with another exogonic reaction. I think it's a little bit confused. I'm sorry. So at this time, how about just like this? This is exogonic reaction. This is endogonic reaction. To occur, we need another reaction. Doesn't make sense. So how about class? What's here? Creatine phosphate. Creatine phosphate. Right? You heard a lot, is right? Creatine. But here, creatine phosphate. Right? We can break down this one too. Right? It's very similar. We need water. I think water is important, is right? So if your younger brother, younger sister, or your parents, friend, because you are kinesiologist, if they said, I want to exercise, any supplementation, maybe they can ask like this, is right? Any supplement you recommend? You should say, water. Doesn't make sense, right? So to get energy, we always need water, right? So before exercise, at least I think had better not just before exercise, one day before. If you exercise today, yesterday night, you had better drink lots of water. You should make sure you are hydrated. Yeah. Doesn't make sense. So it'll be no problem. Right? So to break down creatine phosphate, we need water too. So it's become, please watch here, creatine and plus an inorganic phosphate. Is it right? Is it right? And interestingly, this reaction release because breakdown. Right? 14 kilocalorie per mole. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Yeah. And did you remember I said release, right? So it should be negative. Makes sense? Makes sense? Yeah. Wow. And you already watched Hess's law, is right? Hess's law. Hess's law, how can do that, right? Hess's law can add these two molecules. I'm sorry, these two reaction. These two reaction. It makes sense. It makes sense. I think you already watched Hess's law, is right? Yeah, we can add it together. And another one, there are rules. So left side, right side, if they're the same molecule, we can cancel out. We can cancel out. So H2O cancel out, H2O cancel out. It's okay. I just follow Hess's law. And inorganic phosphate cancel out. This inorganic phosphate cancel out. Wow, right? And I can add it together, is it right? So ADP and creatine phosphate. Oh, proton. Proton. Is it right? Is it right? Yeah. And how about this one? It's negative 14 kilocalorie, positive 14 kilocalorie. So net is, oh my goodness, is zero. It's zero, right? Yeah, it's zero, right? So it's zero, and I want to complete this this reaction, right? So ATP and creatine. Do you agree? Do you agree? So left side ADP, creatine phosphate, proton, and right side ATP and creatine. But right now is zero. So we call it equilibrium. Equilibrium means this reaction can go this way or it can go this way. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. It's not anymore exogonic and not anymore endogonic. This is equilibrium. This reaction can go this way, or can go another way. Makes sense? Makes sense. Wow, it's interesting, is it right? Interesting. So it's kind of equilibrium. So right now, this one is like this. Yeah, it's very sensitive. Sensitive. I want to go this direction, or I want to go this direction. Right? Right? Can you guess? Yeah. And it's right now, right? So how can this reaction choose directionality? Can you guess which one? Which one? This is really, really important. This is really, really important for our exercise science, kinesiology, exercise physiology, human performance exercise. So right now, the most important thing is each side, both sides, concentration. Concentration. It's really dependent on concentration. So mass action effect. Mass action effect means if this side much concentration, and this, how about this side is less concentration, less concentration. So from high concentration to small concentration. So this reaction goes this way. This is a mass action effect. It makes sense. It makes sense. Mass action effect. High concentration, from high concentration to low concentration. Does it make sense? Yeah. So it's right now is the interesting part. Really, really. It's a really important part, right? So how about like this? Imagine 100-meter dash, 100-meter dash. So right now you are ready, right? And you just start 100-meter, 100-meter, right? So how about like 2 or 3 meters, right? Yeah. So you run, what did you run? If you run, ATP increase or decrease? If you just run, ATP increase or decrease? You just run. Maybe decrease. Doesn't make sense. Or maybe increase. No. You just exercise. Your body should break down your ATP, is right. So you use ATP, is right. So concentration decrease. Do you agree? Do you agree? And how about left side? ADP and proton, the concentration of ADP and proton increase or decrease? Because you break down ATP, but ADP and proton is a product part, so increase, is right? So if you just start exercise, it increase. This makes sense? So if you just start exercise, this concentration is bigger than before, right? And this concentration is smaller. Is right? Is right? So the reaction, the directionality of this reaction go to this way, is right? It makes sense. If you start exercise, ATP concentration decrease and ADP and proton concentration increase. So this direction from left to the right, right? So we resynthesize more ATP. Why? It makes sense, is right? Doesn't make sense, right? Yeah, but this ATP actually from using break down this creatine phosphate. It makes sense. It makes sense. Okay, how about right now? If you stop exercise, 100 dash and you done 100 meters. So stop, right? And during recovery, ATP increase or decrease? ATP increase or decrease? Yeah. So ATP increases, right? During recovery. Actually, how about like this? This ATP can be resynthesized another energy system. Did you hear about? I think you hear about glycolysis and mitochondrial respiration system, is right? So mitochondria and glycolysis right now is low exercise intensity. So it helps to resynthesize ATP. So ATP concentration increase during recovery, right? And to synthesize ATP, we must use ADP and proton, is right? So this concentration decrease. And another one, creatine is increased because it's break down during the exercise. And creatine phosphate concentration decrease, right, during exercise, right? So it's like this. So concentration is higher here. This is concentration lower. So during recovery, right? So this directionality go this way. So it's mean we can resynthesize creatine phosphate. Oh, makes sense, right? So during exercise, our reaction go to the this way, we synthesize ATP. But during recovery, we resynthesize creatine phosphate. Wow, it makes sense, is it right? It makes sense. So during high intense exercise, even just low intensity, but when they start exercise, right, we usually use this reaction. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Yeah. So how about class? It's question. It's a question. So is like the most popular is supplementation in fitness industry is creatine. Do you agree? Do you agree? Yeah, creatine. Creatine is popular, but supplements company, they sell creatine, but they advertise it's like they sell creatine phosphate. Actually, they sell creatine, but they pretend they sell creatine phosphate. Do you think it makes sense? It makes sense, right? Yeah. But actually, it's makes sense. But please, yeah, hear about like this. So if you consume creatine from supplements company, right? If you consume creatine, do you think it really help during exercise? Mhm. So please watch here. If you consume creatine, if you consume creatine, your your concentration is increased, which means your product part is increased. Is right? Does it make sense? So this case during exercise, it does not really help. Is it make sense? Is it make sense? Is right? So actually, creatine supplementation, it doesn't really help like during exercise. But why many people use creatine? Why many people said is creatine is a really good supplementation? Actually, it helps, but different explanation. So actually, theoretically, creatine supplementation, they sell creatine, not creatine phosphate. Yeah. They sell creatine, but why it helps, right? So during exercise, it doesn't really help. However, when it helps, creatine supplementation. After exercise, when we go back to this reaction to resynthesize creatine phosphate, if we already took creatine supplementation, so more creatine concentration is here. So after exercise, when we resynthesize, we can make more creatine phosphate concentration. Is right? So next day, another day, right? You have a more creatine phosphate, so you can resynthesize ATP more easily. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Oh, anyway, creatine suppression help, right? This kind of like high intense exercise because it increased, it helped the recovery of creatine phosphate, resynthesis creatine phosphate more, right? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, and another interesting thing is here. Please watch here. Right? So why this reaction is so important? How about class? Did you remember when I talk about ATP hydrolysis reaction? Yeah, many textbook is teach a little bit differently, but my explanation, ATP hydrolysis is release one proton. Is right? Break down one ATP, one proton, right? So how can you buffer? So actually, mitochondria buffer during low exercise intensity. But how about class? This case is a little bit different. Right? During high exercise intensity, like 100 dash, body release proton. This proton is this one. Wow, it means using creatine phosphate, yeah, we can resynthesize ATP as well as is buffer this proton also. It's good, right? So if you have more creatine phosphate, you can buffer more proton during high exercise intensity. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Right now you have idea. Oh, I have a background of the creatine phosphate. I think I can know how to use creatine phosphate. It doesn't make sense. But even creatine supplementation, they confuse. They sell creatine phosphate and creatine. But right now, the reaction. Wow, creatine phosphate is important. It can buffer proton. It can resynthesize ATP. Doesn't make sense. See, this is kind of like why you should learn is academic level. Is right? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Yeah. So I think this is creatine kinase reaction. Thank you very much.